Hey everyone, welcome to Level Podcast episode 121. Tonight we're going to be talking about the announcements for Spaceballs 2, the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set, and like all the shenanigans and what we've been enjoying so far with it. And then, maybe some tabletop board game discussion, what we enjoy. But we hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. So let's get into it. Um, yeah, so how y'all been? I mean, I know that Colin, you got stuff going on, you're under the weather. Um,
Yeah, I'm still here, but hey,
yeah, no, I feel you. Well, it doesn't help with like for us, we've been periodically getting that Saharan dust or
yeah,
in the air, and it's just like it knocks me out for a couple days, or at least makes me my allergies flare up,
we get to
sinuses.
Canadian smoke,
Hmm.
so
It's a joy.
Yeah,
Always
tell me
got
about it.
always got to love all those like, smoke coming from across the
It's the country.
Atlantic, crap coming up from Mexico, right? It's like it or pollen. There's always some awful crap in the air that just wants to murder your sinuses
Oh my
as fast
gosh.
as it can. But oh, they will. It is and we're getting into summer, guys. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yay, it's going to be super hot. And there's also talk about
Woo!
a tropical storm that could turn into a hurricane. Yay.
Already, man, kicking off this season right.
Hey, that needs to be in one of our custom emojis, some kind of thing with yay on it,
Yay. Yeah,
yay,
yeah.
like a Monty Python-esque version of it.
Hmm. Yeah, we could do the Knights of Knee going.
Yeah.
Um no, but everything's been good on my end, just work. Been man, loving cracking open packs for the Final Fantasy stuff, and we'll get into that here in a little bit, but um
No, we can go ahead and talk about it now. I mean, it's a nice segue.
well, let's just see how David's been. How's everything going on his end? Anything new?
uh,
Watching stuff, movies, or playing?
uh, I, I always forget what I have and haven't chatted about.
Mhm.
And like, we'll talk before or we'll talk after episodes, and so it's like my brain has a little like half check mark on things, and I never
What haven't we
remember.
discussed?
But what was it? So at home, I watched a pretty cool little folk horror movie called Frewaka.
Hmm.
Oh God, I'm
Lightning
getting I'm
strikes.
getting the title mixed up. It's basically like an Irish folk horror movie that was uh that was through Shudder. And it's like a whole kind of idea about like familial trauma and it's a elevated horror, right? But um it was definitely, and it's a very slow burn type of thing, but like just the setup, the build up for it, it was a enjoyable little movie. I think it overstayed its welcome a tiny bit. Could have been like a few minutes shorter, but overall that one was pretty good. And then the biggest thing was I have officially, that people always say, never say never, and I've always spit on that idea because I don't care. It's like there are certain things that I know I'm never gonna do, and I will say never to them. And I finally have to eat crow on one of those because I have sworn up and down forever I would never go see a live action remake of an animated film. Period. I
Oh,
refuse to do it.
what did you?
And the wife had a pretty bad week last week, and she asked me if I would be willing to take the family, including her, to go see the How to Train Your Dragon uh,
Oh,
live action movie. And so we went and watched that on Saturday, and it was fine, right? I mean, like
All that
it
build
was
up
ne
to just,
it,
it's fine.
it's fine.
it's never gonna blow me away, right? Like they do a good job. They do a good job of pretty much beat for beat doing the original. For all the people that were losing their minds over Astrid's casting, right? And all the talk about how, oh, it's a Viking village, but there's like Asian, different minorities and all that stuff in there. They actually have a scene where they bother explaining it, which I was like, oh, okay, hey, that's kind of cool that like they were aware enough that this was a thing, but they wanted it to be in the movie, so they were gonna not just be like, yeah, this is just how it exists, and they were actually going to explain it where it's like Burke, instead of just being this little Viking village that just so happens to deal with dragons, it's actually specifically a village where all of these like different tribes of dragon hunters gathered and they're hunting for the nest, and like this is an outpost on the edge of it and all that kind of stuff. So the fact that they even bothered kind of speaking on it, I was like, oh, okay, like that's neat for the people that needed it. At least they were aware and kind of spoke to it. But I mean, all the dragons looked really cool. The final fight was pretty neat. The guy that got to play Hiccup did a good enough job. Um, all the other kids were just kind of meh, and then Gerard Butler was awesome. And then they got Nick Frost to play.
Somebody.
Oh my God, the guy who's missing an arm and a leg. Why can't I
Okay.
think of his
I can't remember the character's name.
Yeah, so they got him to, and so hey, Nick Frost playing that guy did a good enough job. Doesn't sound like the guy from the old movies, but he carried himself well enough. So overall, it was
It's all right.
as
I'm sorry.
in terms of how if you're going to do a live action movie and you're going to change stuff about it, the fact that you're going to address the things that you change, and the fact that you're not going to like radically alter like key parts of the movie, right? It's not like I like with Lilo and Stitch, right, where they're gonna completely change the way the end of the movie goes, or even with the Dune movies, right? We are just joking about Dune a second ago. Technically, the end of the Villeneuve Dune movies completely different, right, than the books and the original stories and all that. So the fact that they stuck pretty close, they tweaked a few little things here and there, but even those they were willing to kind of speak to is it was fine. I could have
It's
done
fine.
worse.
I mean, hey, at least it's not like a the Don Cheeto moment in Iron Man 2 where it's like it's me, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's your explanation why you cast a different actor, right?
Me.
Right?
It's just
They should have gone Sin City, right, with Dwight. Like, Dwight, your face is completely different. Oh yeah, I had to go and,
Have stuff
get
done.
surgery done. Completely changed my face.
face
Oh
reconstruction,
wow. All right.
reconstructive surgery. Yeah.
There you go.
Uh,
I did discover I have a secret passion. I'm not into wrestling, but I'm into wrestling stories.
okay.
So I watched Dark
Understand.
Side of the Ring. Okay. Huge fan of Dark Side of the Ring. I've seen
Okay.
3 seasons, and you could only originally watch them on Vice, which I have no access to. But
Hmm.
Hulu eventually gets them, and now seasons 4 and 5 are up on Hulu. So I have a whole glut of Dark Side of the Ring. Once I get everything organized and stuff, I'll be able to sit down and have a nice time with some popcorn and really get into my one of my guilty pleasures.
Nice.
Nice.
I don't think I've watched any of those.
Oh, they're so good. Some of them are so good that they tell you everything. I mean,
Hmm.
because they get some of the wrestlers who were there at the time, the ones that are alive still, and
Yeah, yeah.
tell the stories. And they have like Jim Cornette on there a lot and stuff. So I mean, they really go into it.
Like I watched what Assault on Precinct 13 because it was on sale. Because I have it on, I think on VHS. I don't think I have it on Blu-ray, but it was digital on Vudu for like $5. I rewatched that. So that's such a great movie for something like
I've
in
never
his
seen.
early Carpenter's early years.
Oh, is it the original one, not the remake?
Yeah, the remake is good too, but it's not on the same level as
I haven't seen either one, but I do know that there's a difference between.
yeah. The basically the premise is like there's a police officer that gets kind of assigned to the closure of this one precinct that he's just basically going to be there for a night and they're going to pack everything out just to make sure because it's a bad neighborhood. But there's a gang war that starts because some of the gang members are trapped and killed by police and then they want to kind of get revenge, so they kill different people around town. But while that's going on, the cops are at the precinct, their line gets cut. They just kind of in the middle of everything. And they have this like final holdout at this, old police station with a prison or a jail cell and everything. It's really good, because what happens is like there's a police bus transplanting or blah, 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 come on. There's
Transfer bus.
yeah, that is trying to stop so that way some guys can go to the restroom or whatever, and then they're gonna head out to the the prison, the next prison they're going to, and it's really good. It's just really good.
Cool.
Man, I kind of botched trying to tell that story, but
That's
whatever.
all right. Go look for the John Carpenter version first.
Yes.
Always go John Carpenter first if you can.
And I started watching, what was it, Resurrection Road? That's pretty good too so far. About maybe 15 minutes into it. Um, I heard it's a horror movie, so that's what kind of got me interested in it. And it's seems very what grassroots filmed because there's
Okay.
just some of the things because like there's a moment where you hear the Wilhelm scream and it's like wow, they just couldn't get somebody just to scream it, so they used stock footage for some of the sound effects in the movie.
And
Yeah,
I'm all
yeah.
about stock footage.
But it's good so far.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll check back on that one.
But anyway,
Yeah,
so oh, go ahead, David.
I was gonna say another one that I think we're gonna talk about eventually that I did watch over the weekend was Sinners as well, and so I'll leave it
Good.
at that. I'll leave it at that for now. I'm sure we'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait till Colin and Kevin
Yeah,
get to
I'm
see
gonna have
it.
to chat with you privately on that one, Benny,
Okay. Yeah.
because I have options, but I need to just go through them with you and stuff. So
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, I do want to see it because I've been looking at trailers and stuff for it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely want to get in on this. Just it's just a
There
matter of having the 2 hours to be able to, block out for it.
mhm.
Yep.
There's definitely some stuff in it that needs to be discussed because it definitely brings a whole new level to horror and pacing because the pacing was really good. And I think it's another film, unfortunately, that the trailers kind of like spoil the like what's going on.
Um,
Because you get one subplot going on and then you get the main subplot, the main story plot, but you don't get it until like the last what
all right.
45 minutes or so or an hour in.
I mean, it's
To quote Eric Idle, say no more, say no more.
I mean
Yeah.
it's what Dust Till Dawn did, right? I
Yes.
mean, like that's the idea is
Yeah.
if you didn't watch anything about it, if you don't know anything about it, you feel like you're watching one type of movie, and then it all of a sudden spins around on you. But yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the movie, if you've heard anything about the movie or read anything about it, you know that there's a certain thing that's supposed to show up eventually. But
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, so yeah, Magic, Final Fantasy, a
Magic.
combination that I never thought would ever happen in our lifetime.
That's
Well,
fair.
apparently not a lot of other people did either because man, they've been buying it up like gangbusters. Good Lord.
Dude, that's one of the things I was going to talk about tonight was the fact that like it is at the point that you have to go secondary market. Walmart has boxes at least for under the 200 mark, which is good because it means if you want to get a box, you can get one through them without having to pay 230 right now on like
Yeah.
TCG Player or other places. Because even the packs, which were like $7, $8, are now 10, almost 11 just for a pack.
Yeah. Dude, it's wild. Like and like there's a lot of stuff going into the reason why this set is selling the way that it is. Like I was able to grab a second play booster for 150, and I think that the guy who was selling it realized that one of the sites he was selling on had a different price because I it sold and he sent it to me, but I went back and because I was thinking I was like, man, 150. I was like, these things are already selling for like close to 200. I might go in on one more, and I went back and I looked and he had upped the price another $30, and now it was selling for 180. I'm like, okay. I'm out. I'm done. I'm all
Yeah.
right. I see it. But
Yeah,
but no, I mean the big thing about it, right, is A, it's Final Fantasy coming to Magic. So you already have, all the Final Fantasy fans that don't give two craps about Magic wanting to get in because they want the fancy, glowy little card with cloud on it doing shit, right? And all that stuff. But then the other big thing for people that are actually in the know of Magic is that this set is in standard, right? So like
Yep.
up until this point, Magic, WotC was saying that all universes beyond because they have some mechanically specific cards that exist just in those sets that some of them are actually kind of wild and get pretty and can do some pretty cool things. But Watsy was always saying, "Yeah, this is Universes Beyond. It's gonna be its own thing. It's gonna be separate from the rest of Magic. Don't worry about it. It's all cool." And then this year, Final Fantasy, they announced, "Oh yeah, hey, whenever you go to tournaments and all the rest of that, this is gonna be a part of it." And then whenever all the reveals started coming out, it was like, "Oh man, this is gonna play into like a couple of the meta like decks that are going on right now. It's gonna like revitalize landfall. It's gonna be doing all kinds of stuff." And so you have all the nerds coming in. You have all the people that are competitive wanting to get all these mechanically unique cards
Cards,
and
yeah.
needing the actual physical card, right? To be able to go into tournaments and things. You can't just proxy them and go into those. And then all the rest of us that, just want a
We're
little
fans of
magic.
both. Yeah, we want a little Magic,
Right?
we want a little Final Fantasy.
Like, come on now. But
Because
yeah,
I've
man.
always been in the Magic. It's just like I go through my phases where I may pick up a deck or here or there or a pack, and then me and Anna will play. Or I have a couple friends that we used to get together on like I think Saturdays to play. Hold on.
I've played Magic once,
Oh.
and I ended up with such an incredible hand that the friend who was teaching me how to play it said, "There's no way I'm going to have you play again." Because in 3 moves I had completely won, and it was because of some zombie and some curse thing it was attached to it, and there's one other card. It created this nightmare scenario where basically I won.
Yeah.
No, you're
Yeah,
not.
no, there's dude, no, see that's the thing. If you get if you get high enough into like competitive match, especially standard, right? What this is now able to play in. Basically, if you're not threatening to win by like turn 3, you're not even trying, right? It's like your
Yeah, you
deck
need
is
to refine your
slow.
your
It's
deck.
like you need to go and get like readjust everything because and that's how like it's not Yu-Gi-Oh where you can, before you even play a card, you can win, but
Yeah,
there's some nutty stuff that goes on, and man, there's some like the Final Fantasy X deck has a 3 card infinite in it. Like so, you just if you have 3 cards in play, and so you could win with that deck on turn 3 if you had the right combination. Just because. And what's different, right, is because it's not like regular Magic where you only have 20 life, right? Because that's a commander deck. You're
Hmm.
you're facing off against 3 different people, and all of them have 40 life. But on turn 3, you can generate infinite damage and deal all of that damage directly to all of their faces, and there's nothing they can do about it unless they have like removal or something. But once you get those pieces on the board, it's Jover.
Yeah, I used to have a deck that was a vampire deck. So back when the Baron Senior came out, and that had that feature where like if you sacrificed a creature to it, it got a 2/2 counter on top of it. So you could just exponentially just literally make this infinitely powerful, infinite health creature that could just tap and kill a character or a person in one turn. And if you had a creature generator card, you just tap that every so often where you're generating a couple of creatures, just sacrifice all those creatures to it to add to the counter. Yeah, it was pretty scary when I used to play that. I don't even have that deck anymore, but none of that stuff is canon anymore. Or it's not legal to play.
Well, it depends on the format, right?
True.
Like commander decks, it's you they have a specific ban list for it, and outside of like a handful of specific cards, you can play just about like there's people that play stuff from Alpha in Commander. They don't care.
Hmm.
I mean, they've got if there is a card, if there is a deck that you want to play, there is a format that you can play it in. I guarantee you. Whether it's vintage or whatever, right? There's somewhere where you're going to be allowed to play it. Now, you're going to be able to play the stuff that you want to play, but everyone else is going to be able to play the stuff they want to play. And I guarantee you, someone has some way more busted stuff that they're going to run against you that you are, yeah, it's interesting. But, uh, but I mean,
I.
outside of like all the insanity around it, right? It's a good set though. I mean, it,
Mhm.
it really is. Man, like I don't know. I haven't played through all the Final Fantasies, but I know for at least the stuff from 7 and 10 and the little bit of 6 that I know, and just like mechanically, the stuff they have put in here is really thematic. It really like
Well thought
nails.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you can definitely tell that they spent some time on, and there's some fans that are in here, right? Like whenever they were doing the reveals initially, and I saw Tonberry came out, and he starts on, on your turn, he has first strike and death touch, so he's going to kill whatever he hits, and they're not going to be able to do anything to him. But the fact that when he comes into play, he immediately has a stun counter on him, so the first turn he comes out, he can't like the
Can't
next
do
turn he
anything.
can't act, right? It's like, yep, that's Toneberry. Nice. Like it functionally it's kind of dumb, but that's Toneberry. That's the way it behaves in the game, and that's awesome. So it's just cool to see little touches like that on cards that again functionally aren't going to be some game breakers, but it's just fun to see those little
Yeah.
things on the cards.
Well, it's like the Cactuar, it has the what 10,000 needle, and it just like
Yes.
it's like it's ridiculous.
Oh, dude, that I haven't gotten that. I want to get it because I love green because I'm a Timmy at heart. All I want to do is
Mm,
put big creatures on the board, and green can give everything trample. So
yeah.
yeah, just give it haste and trample, and you're gonna at least take somebody out. And if you're playing in green red and someone tries to destroy it, you can just play fling and fling it at them and kill them that way. There's a bunch of cool ways to do it, but
Yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. I've already gone through one booster play box. I should have that video up, or I have that should have that video up now, but when we're recording this, I haven't put it out.
It'll get there.
But like just some of the cards, man. It was really nice like going through that box. I think I ended up with a total of 41 rares and mythics. So it was a overall good box and I actually made my money back on from what the pulls were. So it was
yeah.
actually definitely worth buying the booster box for. Um, I went through the bundle box. That was pretty fun. You get the die here with the Moogle
Well,
on
that's
it.
cool.
Now, the thing to remember in case you ever try to bring that to D&D is it's spin down, so the layout of the numbers is completely
Completely
different.
different. It's correct.
It's yeah.
Yeah. You can't use it as a 20, right?
No, it should no. You're just supposed to be able to like instead of being like an idiot and spinning around being like, God, where's the 15? It's like no, if you get to the 20, there you can very see around the side and like slowly spin it around to
Yeah.
number to number to number. You don't look like an idiot trying to flip through there and just trying to find, man, where's the three? I gotta find. Oh no, where's the six? Okay, I found the six. No, wait, that's the nine. Never mind. Right? Like all that good stuff.
I kind of wish that the actual, live counters were different colors. I even mentioned it in the videos, like, it'd be nice if they're like materia colored. So this is the white materia, you have a black one, this is the black materia, and so on and so forth. I believe the die that's in the pre-release kit is actually different than this one. So I think that's the only other way to get that other counter. But yeah, no, I mean the even the packs have been fun to open. I'm still waiting on some of the product I've ordered, just so that way I can, have some videos out for people to check them out. Because I do want to collect a set. It's not like I'm just trying to ride the hype train. I'm a Final Fantasy fan. That's, I mean, if it is evident of stuff
Yeah.
up here.
Not to mention all the games you've played online, live.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lifelong thing for him. It's a passion.
I mean, if it was Chrono Trigger, I'm sorry, I would probably have to take out a mortgage, and
Yes.
that would be really bad.
Some of the stories of these people, like even some of the guys in the Discord talking about, yeah, some guy taking out like what was it like seven or $5,000 against his house or
A
something like that
house
to go.
just
I'm
to buy.
like, dude, it's not worth that.
No,
Like
it's
buy
not.
again, buy singles, buy it will be infinitely cheaper. Don't buy right now, right? As much as you want to. Wait, the market will settle over time,
You
right?
hope it
The
will.
the
You,
the
you
tr
we hope it will.
there no okay. If you want to go after like the like special ultra surge foil art, chocobo thing, then no, you're always going to be paying like $500 for it. But if you just want the cards, right? That $24 traveling chocobo is eventually going to come down at some point.
Considering there's only
Um,
75 of those golden chocobos and two of them have been found. is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, no, but that's why the collector booster boxes cost $1,000 right now.
Yeah.
Like that's why, because people are hunting for those stupid gold chocobos. And it's like, no, no, no. I don't need the gold chocobo. I just want the regular chocobo. But the problem is that that thing costs right now, it's going for like $24. And I ain't paying $24 for that. I'm gonna proxy it for
When
now
when
until the
when
price comes down.
yeah, when I can go and get this, well, some people can get this depending on the price for $20 and have at least enough to be able to play with my son or my wife or friends. Um, but
I'm at I actually disassembled that a second ago because I am currently working on upgrading the limit break cloud, and I
mhm,
I came this close to buying a card because I didn't check the card list
that was
for
in
those
mhm.
because those have where you at where you at where you at.
Because they had with the rendezvous card is T Tifa and the commander deck.
Is it always Tifa?
I think
Like
so. I think it's always.
is yours
I
Tifa?
haven't opened mine yet, but I've heard that it's
Okay,
only Tifa. The only way to get the other three, which is Barrett, Yuffie, and Eris, is through the packs.
okay.
Um, as far as I know.
Well, Tifa is best girl, so I'm perfectly fine with
Yes,
that.
yes,
But yeah,
that's
yeah.
waifu.
Ultima Weapon is in that the little starter decks,
Yes.
and it's only in as I don't think it's only in there, but this was the quickest way for me to get it. It was either that, it was like $20 to get that, one of the cloud cards that is specific to that set or to those decks,
Yeah, which is
or like
yeah.
this guy right here is like $8. I'm like, Jesus, man, for so like half the cost of that thing
Well, trying to get the
with
Buster
one
Sword,
card in it.
man. Trying to get the
Jesus.
Buster Sword is another thing too. It's like I have no how much does that cost?
The last time I looked, it was 44.
So maybe I
So
could trade my extra VV for it for somebody who doesn't have a VV.
You know what?
yeah, there you go.
Put up a list.
Yeah, that's true.
Go
Here's
through
my
and do a
duplicates.
video of
Yeah.
here's all the cards that I have extra.
I
Who's
will
got
trade with
what?
you. You contact
Yes,
me and we'll go from there.
yes, that would be the
Yeah.
way to go. And I'm
Oh
Yeah.
sorry,
no, man.
12-year-old in me just keeps hearing Chocobo, and I just keep going back to throttling John Schneider. I'm sorry. I just the 12-year-old me just can't fight it anymore. I just can't. I'm sorry. Your
Chocobro.
man's dad gets choked out. I'm sorry.
Uh, yeah, but I I really would love to have a set as far as the basic stuff. I can't there's no way I can afford. I mean, some of the stuff that are in the collector boosters you can actually get for, not too bad of a price. But some of it is godly. It's like, oh, I could get a collector box, well, for one of these cards at the time, right? Because they were
Yeah.
supposed to be $400 or whatever, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
hmm
Considering a normal, what was it when the vampire themed one,
All right,
the
from this year?
no, from a couple years ago, the one with it was the complete the Innistrad, not Innistrad, it was the Crimson Vow or something like that, or
Yeah, I mean it's on the Innistrad plane, but yeah,
yeah.
Crimson Vow. Okay.
So like the collector boosters for that were, you know, what, 40,
Yeah.
maybe $100 compared to,
Well, no, there I guarantee you they weren't 40, but they might have been like 140. But
yeah, they weren't that bad compared to what they're going on for Final Fantasy right now.
well, yeah.
And in on top of that, we got the Spider-Man set coming out in September, and I think I'm just gonna buy like a commander deck of whatever that is, and then a booster box if they're doing a commander deck
I was about to say I don't I haven't heard them announce that they were doing commander decks for it. I know, and because that set is weird. I don't
Yes,
remember all the stuff about it, but it's like it's supposed to be a precursor to a larger launch that's supposed to be going on like next
for
year or something
Marvel.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There's more. There's much more Marvel coming, which
because
is wild.
I was looking at it. There's the you have the bundle case, or no, there's a bundle case. Hold on. There's the bundle box, right? That's going to probably come with 9 boosters, another spin down token,
Yeah.
and some extra stuff. There's the your booster box. You have the collector booster box. Then there's the Spider-Man, what is it? The pre-release pack, which is pretty cool because it's like Spider-Man, the front of his chest, and it's got just Spider-Man on it, the box on it anyway.
Yeah. But I
But
mean, all it
yeah,
is it's like a collection of booster packs and like another spin down and some others and like some promo like foil cards in it. But it's just that is for, going to a local game store and playing a pre-release set.
pre-release, yeah. It kind
Yeah.
of gives you an introduction of what the set is for those who don't know, and then you get like six boosters, and then, but yeah, they have what is it? There's the Marvel Spider-Man Marvel scene box, which looks pretty cool. I think I've seen it to where they're almost like kind of redoing like the was it the Marvel Masterpiece like sets where you could put them together, or it was the tops ones that allowed you to be able to put a scene together with six cards or nine cards. So that's pretty cool. I kind of like the whole idea on that. But I'm a
Yeah.
Spider-Man fan. I'll get a box and some booster packs and I'll be done. I'm not going to go as crazy as I'm doing with Final Fantasy. You know, not
Yeah,
not back to back like that.
no. And that's my whole thing is like I this was in my mind. I was thinking to myself, I either depending on what they were gonna I pretty much knew I was gonna go in on Final Fantasy. But
Yeah,
because I've got a kid who's about to become very expensive with school, I was like, all right, I've got maybe one more set in me this year to go in on kind of hard. So I was like, it's either gonna be Final Fantasy or it was gonna be the next mainline set of Edges of Eternity. Um, just because I'm sure they're gonna have some cool stuff in there. So uh, I ended up going in on Final Fantasy, and then yeah. Then there's Edges of Eternity, and then Spider-Man, and then Last Airbender. By the end, like that, they're cramming all that in before the end of the year, which is insane, man. So much crap. I don't know
yeah. I don't
how
know
they
how we're gonna
expect
do it.
people to keep track to keep up with it. So,
Well, and then
and
like
that's
what
where,
was it? I bought the Switch too. Is like, but I luckily I paid it off before it released, so it wasn't
uh,
like this thing where I had to just dropped it right at the time. I'd saved before it paid it off and everything. But that could have been more money I could have put towards this. Maybe I could have bought a collector booster box before the because they were up on pre-order at the
yeah.
normal retail like back in April.
Yeah. That was how I got the commander decks without having to pay an arm and a leg for them was the second they went on pre-order, it was like, all right, I'm gonna run in, I'm gonna get the commander decks at first. I was like, I'm at least getting those because that's at least four playable decks or things that I
Hmm.
can like tear down and make use of and some other stuff. Like that's 400 cards I know I can get, period.
Yep. And
And
then
then we'll see where it goes from there.
because I was lucky to be able to get them for retail at Walmart, so it wasn't too I didn't have to pay the exorbitant because it's crazy. Like some of them were like only going for 50, and then you got like Cloud going for 120, and I think the
Dude, pre-order that's again there's a channel called Clarion Community College and the professor he's like do not do pre-orders, right? Don't for specific like cards, right? Like
yes,
don't pre-order individual cards because they're all marked up. Do not pay markups, just period. Don't pay markups because all it does is it encourages I mean,
Other
it's like what you talk about, like what we've talked about with other collecting stuff, right? Like you
hmm
encourage the scalpers they're just gonna start scalping more, man. They're
yep.
they're gonna they're gonna leave a whole field worth of scalps in the background, just tearing it down. And it's ridiculous.
But overall, like I've really enjoyed this. This has been a fun thing. I like I said, I may try to get one more box depending on what the prices are in the next like 2, 3 weeks or so. But I don't know because I think we're at the point where everything that has hit retail is gone. So everything is on a secondary market right now. And we probably won't see reprints of the play boxes until maybe November, maybe December if we're lucky, because there's still other things in the queue from what I've heard. They got a reprint.
Well, well, that's the big question about this set because of the fact that it's Universes Beyond, right? It's
Hmm.
it's an entire question about whether or not any of this will see reprint ever, right? So
Well,
like so when it comes to sealed product like
hmm
booster boxes and all that, it might just, we might see a small dip. and then it might just go up from there. That's why I'm saying like when I saw that one guy raise prices up to 180, I was like, all right, that is my sign to now just go and make a list of
What you want?
all of the single cards that I don't have that I would like to get my hands on. And then I have to do that financial question of, am I going to spend $40 on a small piece of cardboard? No. So there's a site that I bought that I get proxies from. So it's like I'll spend $1 on the proxy site to get a Buster Sword. And then if the Buster Sword ever comes down to like a reasonable amount, I might get it then. But I imagine with as good as it is, depending on how it performs and like the overall meta of the standard game, I might just have to wait 5 years to get my hands on a Buster Sword officially, right? Or my kid can get out of college early and I can have a lot more disposable income, and then I might feel a little, I might have had a little
Or
something,
or
something,
or he
and
can go get some scholarships and stuff and then like make it to
yeah,
where it's something that you don't have to worry about after.
yeah. Well, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping some of those scholarships will come back as a yes, but so far it's been red all the way down.
Uh,
So yeah, sucks on that, but yeah, if I ever get disposable income again and I can get my hands on them, otherwise I just need those prices to come down, guys.
I
Not
know,
40
I know.
bucks, not 40 bucks, not for
Oh,
that.
dude, like
Like it's not
the
even special. It's not even like the special art ones. If it's like special, foil art bullshit, it's like okay, that's the collector portion. I get that, but when it's just like basic,
standard basic
like
cards, yes.
the basic card is 40 bucks? No, sir. I'm out. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Again,
I don't mind pulling it, but I don't want to
oh
have to go
yeah.
pay for it.
But I don't
Uh,
want to have to, but I'm not going to throw $150. I'm not going to throw $200 in that slot machine and
and just
pray that
hope
I come up
to
with
open
something
it.
good,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Although of the booster packs that I got, the absolute there was a card that I did get that because a part of this set is reprints of other cards from other
hmm
sets
Yep.
that are just reskinned. Um, in different ways. And I have a dragon deck that I built before Tarkir for anyone out there that gives a shit. I was actually trying to build this and base it off of the primeval dragons of Dominaria, which anyone who knows what that is, hey, good for you. For everyone else, don't worry about it. It's fine. But there was a dragon that I'd been debating on getting, and it's because it creates a crap ton of treasures if you can get it on board and online and doing stuff, and that is the ancient copper dragon. And the Final Fantasy set had a cool little art. My camera sucks at all that,
There,
but
there's a
pretty
Yeah.
sweet art for it. Um, and I pulled it in a pack, and this piece of cardboard right here is $70. Right? If I wanted to go sell it, this is going for about $70 right now. Why?
Why? Yeah.
Why, guys?
I mean that's the thing with this, the VV, right? I got two of them out of one booster box and one it was out of the bundle box. And he's like almost $44. It's crazy. Um,
The the best pull in all of the Magic stuff I've ever gotten, and it was the funniest thing was I was gonna try and get more of the family into trying to play because I have like almost a dozen commander decks at this point, and I have very few people to play with, and so I was gonna try and get the family into it, and I was like, oh hey, I'll go buy the Lord of the Rings commander decks. And the commander decks come with a little sampler pack for collector boosters, right? Well, in one of those sample collector booster packs for the Lord of the Rings uh, commander decks, I was able to pull. Should have it like right here. Oh shit!
dun
I got
dun
cards
dun.
falling. No.
I actually had a question about that too, since
Fanciful music plays.
because I know that there's those sample packs in each of the commander decks for the Final Fantasy, and I'm wondering if like could you pull a chocobo out of that? That would be insane.
I got a one ring.
Nice. Which is how much going for how
So
much? Or how much was it going for?
this one right here, like just the basic one, is going for like 65.
Hmm
So, but the fact that I pulled it in a sample collector booster pack is kind of stupid. Like you get two cards in it. right? So it was a 50-50 chance of pulling something like really. And most of those sample collector booster packs, like I've gotten, like all the ones for the Final Fantasy decks, every single one of them, all of them just gave me, like I got another Sid Highwind, right?
Oh, nice.
Which is
Already in the
already
commander deck.
in the commander deck. So it's
Yeah.
like I just got duplicate cards of what I already had in the decks that the samples came in. So the fact that I was able to pull something as rare as the
The
One
One
Ring out
Ring.
of a sample pack for some commander decks was kind of awesome. I got to admit, I and that's where it's like WotC knows, right? WotC knows that deep down, cracking packs is just satisfying,
Yes,
right?
it
Like
is. It
I'm
is.
like most people that are in the hobby are like, yeah, cracking packs is for that's for draft, right? You should only be cracking packs for draft. It's like, yeah, but man, when I was a kid and I, scrounged together enough money to buy like two booster packs,
Some
whether it was
Pokemon or
Magic
Magic.
or Pokemon or whatever, right? And it was
Yep.
like, and you pull those out and you're looking, it's like, okay, common, 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 land, energy, whatever. It's like, oh, I saw a foil towards the back, but I'm gonna hold off. Let me get through there. It's like, and you get to the very back, it's like cool foil card, and oh man, in your little child brain, you're like, this is probably worth like $500, and you go look it up, it's worth like $2. But whatever,
It
it
was still
was
cool. Yeah.
amazing. Yes, for
Yeah.
those those
Unless
those few little moments.
even back then though, Magic really didn't have foil. It was more Pokemon, but I mean, still,
Yeah.
because like just pulling it and pulling like the three basic of the three main starters, the Charizard, Blastoise, or Ivysaur. No, not. I'm sorry.
Bulbasaur, sir,
No, I'm
get
talking
your
Charizard. No, I'm talking about the holograms were the ones. They were
yeah.
the last three.
Venusaur.
Venusaur, yeah, not Ivysaur.
Yeah.
Venusaur.
And wait, yeah, Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um. And it's funny how like the foils have taken over Magic, and they've been like that for a while now.
Well, it's not even just foils anymore. It's like very specific, like
Surge
super
Arts.
ultra, yeah, all that stuff where it's like
Hmm.
it's not even just foil. It's a special type of foil with a special type of border to it and a bunch of other nonsense. It's like it's ridiculous, man. It has gotten out of hand. It's like comics in the 90s, right? It's like,
Yes,
hey, do you want the negative the negative inverted foil super deluxe
hologram
under like all
cover,
yeah. Yeah.
like the issue. I can't remember which one it is, but from X-Men, where Wolverine's got his Animanium pulled out of him.
Yeah.
How
So
how
okay.
cool that hologram was on that on the comic,
I mean, I'm sure it was really cool. It's just it turns out, hey guys, guess what? It wasn't quite worth the money.
right? Ah, man. But yeah, no, dude, I'm looking forward to opening these and stuff, and it's in fun sitting down with my camera angled a certain way and being able to open up these packs and just like gush over the artwork. Because that's one of the things I'm loving about this set is just the artwork is fantastic. And like getting to find out that there's the Phantom Train as a card and the suplex and it's got Sabin running towards the thing and I need to get I know Sabin's in the commander deck, but it's like those three cards like are awesome, for the old school Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 6 crowd. They grew up playing that game and how it's a meme now with Sabin suplexing a train, you know. But yeah, some of this stuff has just been really cool. And I love the fact that it's covers the core 16 games of Final Fantasy. It'd be nice to see maybe if they did an expansion later on to this set and did some of the other offshoot games like Tactics and you know throw in Chrono Trigger, other Square titles that they own that they want to get the license for. But that's something that I was going to talk about. Is like I don't know if because of how much they paid for the license for this and how this is the most successful Magic the Gathering set ever now, that they would not reprint it. At least the core set, the
But do
basic.
they but do they have the rights, right? Like that's the question is like what kind of agreement does WotC have with Square
Hmm.
to print this set? Because up until now, there's been a lot of other like secret layers is a way that they've been doing a lot of
Yeah,
the other alternate
multiverse stuff.
universes beyond stuff, right? And like, so they did a bunch of stuff for the D&D movie back when it came out. And there's like a really cool legend, the Zank the Paladin, right? Like, I kind of want that card because like the what he does is kind of interesting, and I'd be interested to build like a Voltron deck around it. But um, trying to get a hold of it, like that card is 35, like 30 $35 right now. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. But WotC is like, okay, well, we're gonna put out another card that is functionally the exact same thing as Zank, except it's going to be in universe to our stuff, and it's going to look really, really dumb. Like I hate the art for the mechanically similar Zank because it's this chick in this big bulky armor wielding two maces shaped like fists, which I feel like is someone's barely disguised fetish art, but it's disturbing, and it just looks weird. It's an awkward picture, and I'm not a fan of it. And so like I don't want that. I want Zank, but they're never gonna reprint Zank because now they have the mechanically similar card over here.
Part of him.
So
Yep. Hmm.
yeah, so I mean that'll be the big question: is will WotC be able to reprint this set? What will that look like? Because the other part of it is since it's in standard and that's the other part of it. It's not just, oh hey, we're just going to reprint these cards because whenever cards come into the system, they have a 5 year life span in
Yes.
standard. So it's like WotC can't just say, hey, we're going to reprint this stuff again. It's like, okay, well, you're going to reprint this stuff again. Does that mean you're going to extend its life in the competitive tournament cycle?
Permanents.
Or are you going to like make some weird new rule where, hey, everybody, here now we're going to change the little, insignia on the card, and this set is standard legal, but now this other one's not going to be standard
Is that
legal or
illegal?
some other nonsense like that, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'd be cool if they reprint it. Uh, like I
I mean,
said, I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it because I'll buy singles or I'll proxy because cool thing about proxy sites is people will put a bunch of awesome alternate art and crap on there
hmm
that'll look really cool. Like the secret layers for Marvel that sold out so fast that almost no one could get their hands on them. I've got a copy of Captain America that looks dope. It's a proxy. It doesn't look anything like the OG card, but the art I like way more. Not to say that the art on the original Marvel cards isn't good. It's a really good art, but hey, I found a proxy that looks a little bit cooler, and I like it a little bit more. So, and you want to know what? It cost me a 30th of the price, so I'll go with that.
right. Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, I do think they would just because of certain things, but I don't think it'll be like they'll kind of continuously reprint. I think they'll do like maybe one more reprint just because we're not even out of the year yet. But
We'll see, man.
yeah, we'll definitely see on that. I'm not sure. Um, anyway,
Speaking of things coming back around, though,
correct, which is a good segue. So there was an announcement by an old man that we love very much and enjoy his movies.
I will calling up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I'm just watching the news.
No
So much
worries. So much
I'm
stuff going on.
so much crazy stuff going on. Gotta look for a distraction. And
Yeah,
who else to give us the ultimate distraction but Mel Brooks? 99 years old, and he's taking the director's chair and he's taking the helm and he's giving us Spaceballs too.
I have to say that trailer was fantastic.
It was
It was
it
so
was
Mel
Mel
Brooks.
Brooks gold.
Yes. I
From
think
the
this
from the moment you saw that first frame until the very end, Mel Brooks gold. You knew what was coming. And the
I
fact that he's got Bill Pullman, he's got Daphne Zaninga, he's got Rick Moranis out of retirement. Probably
That was crazy.
the only human being who could have done it. Somebody probably delivered a script that said Spaceballs to him. Rick goes, okay, I'm
yeah,
in.
I'm done. I'm done. Yeah.
And then he's got Lewis Pullman, Bill's kid, friggin' Century.
Yep.
And then he's got Kiki Palmer, I think her name is the new face they're trying to figure out. But I just
Candy's going to be missed, not in this film, but
Yeah, but thing is, Josh Gad is,
Yeah,
and I think he's going to either
be like his pup or
probably,
grandpup.
yeah, probably be directly connected, and Josh Gad can carry the role, whatever they give him.
Hmm.
So I'm not dissuaded by that at all. After seeing
So
History of the World Part Two, and even though it was a little more broken up than it could should have been, I'm still like, okay, I'm totally on board with whatever they give me.
that's what I was going to say. This looks a little bit more like he's going back to older roots with this, and it looks as far as just the feel from the stuff and the announcements that it's going to be more like Spaceballs than like how History of the World Part 2 was, where it was like it was good, just felt disjointed. It felt
Yeah, as opposed to History of the World Part One, where it was story, 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 and then
mhm.
they connected the stories together at the end. It was very disjointed.
Yeah.
That was the one off-putting thing about History of the World Part Two for me. I mean, all the people he chose to be in it and stuff like that, I was surprisingly on board with because like Fred Armisen, I'd never really seen him in much, and then Wanda Sykes, of course, I can. There's stuff for hers I don't like, and there's stuff for hers I do like. And as disjointed as it was, if they actually went back and edited for video or something like that, they could put it together better. I loved it. It gave a solid 4 out of 5. But now that I see Spaceballs 2, I'm thinking, okay, this is theater stuff. This isn't Hulu. This is the
This
big
needs to
time.
be theater, yeah.
You know,
I
this is top tier, top shelf stuff.
I'm hoping like how do you top the ship becoming a giant maid? I want to see something over the top like this. Maybe it's a planet that transforms into something.
Maybe he takes a cue from DC Comics and makes the planet alive.
Yeah.
It winks at you at the end or something. You know, it's just it. It's been what 37 years, I think it was, since in the trailer.
Hmm.
Yeah, and maybe we should put a link to the trailer
Yeah, I could do that. I could put it in the description
without
below.
without having to bring it up and create problems.
Yeah.
Please, if you haven't seen the trailer, go see the trailer and look for the one from Mel Brooks, not somebody doing say AI garbage or reposting or something like that. Go find the official trailer.
Hmm. I will.
And
I can do that.
yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the people in viewing it because it just, I mean, the first what 2.5 minutes of it was just the monologue
Yeah.
dialogue there,
Yep.
and 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 you're reading it, you're going, yeah, yeah,
When we
that's exactly right.
when we first did this, there was only the trilogy, the first three movies. Then
And
now
then
there's
the prequel,
prequels,
the
the
prequel,
sequels,
the
and
prequel,
sequels.
and it just got so convoluted, but it stayed on point. But there's
Yeah.
only been one Spaceballs
Yeah.
until now, and
Until
I'm
now.
like,
You
and
know,
he's still going. I love that man to death. I just when he goes, it's going to be like Betty White going for me. You know,
I mean, it's him. It's
it's
James Hong. It's Dick Van Dyke. All these guys that are like really close to
yeah,
the 100 mark.
they're pushing that 100 mark,
Yeah.
and we actually have some of those people still around to share with our kids. Of course, my kids grew up on a steady diet of Mel Brooks movies and Monty Python stuff, so they already know. But like you guys have got younger kids, and the fact that you're able to share that with them, and the fact that some of these people are still around,
Hmm.
they can look up Mel Brooks and say, "Oh, he's still around. Yeah, he's doing stuff on Broadway. Yeah, he put out the series on Hulu. The guy's still working. Dick Van Dyke. I would love to see him do one more thing. Even if it was just a bit part, just to see him one more time on camera would be fantastic. But no, it just Mel Brooks with that smile, just sitting there. It
Well,
was
I
just
I'd love to see like Carpenter come back and get you know, Kurt Russell and James Hong to do one more like a Big Trouble Little sequel. But he only just shows up, maybe at the post credits.
yeah, one more John Carpenter movie, even if it wasn't a sequel, just one more of anything. would be great.
Yeah, you would see the
A little
ecstatic
reasonable
face.
age.
Yeah, exactly. You'd see my ecstatic face like talking about a new John Carpenter movie over and over again. I'm telling you guys,
Oh,
if he did a
oh, it
movie,
would be
yeah. Um, David, what's your thoughts, man?
I
That what
mean,
from what
it
we didn't
kind
say.
I mean, it just kind of came out of nowhere, right? I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I'm excited to see what he does with it, right? I mean, I haven't watched that movie and I haven't watched
I
the
haven't either.
now. And what's funny is now I have to say I haven't watched the first one, right? It's so long now that there's gonna be a second one, but
Oh,
I mean, uh,
every one of his
it's
movies is ingrained in my brain.
but
So, like I
yeah,
said, I have three directors of all time that have been my favorites: Ed Wood, David Lynch, and Mel Brooks. David Lynch and Mel Brooks worked together on The Elephant Man. Now, Ed Wood has been gone a long time. We lost David Lynch because of the damn California fires. And now we got Mel Brooks left, and he is holding on for dear life. So, whatever he does, I will be throwing money at cashiers the day of opening. I'll be like, take it all. I don't care. Let me in.
well, that was and that honestly that was kind of it's so weird when you haven't seen someone in so long and then they pop up and you realize, oh, wow, time has happened, right?
Yeah.
Like whenever it showed Mel, I was like, wow, Mel, you're dude. I'm glad you're kicking, but how are you still kicking, dude? Like what is going on? Unless I mean, I'm thankful for it, but like that was my initial reaction to seeing him pop. But you could tell, man, he's still just as jolly and
Yep.
man. That's
He is,
maybe that's what's keeping him going is just his laughter and ability to have fun, right? It seems to be
See,
what's
I mean, that man has been an anchor in my life. I will say it right up front. You know, there, through all the garbage and stuff like that, I've always been able to turn to certain movies or certain things, books or whatever, and having the Mel Brooks collection and being able to go back and catch all the side things and see him. And I have a book autographed by him and Carl Reiner. Uh,
nice.
and I've got all of the 2000 Year Man stuff, including a thing that was a kid's book that not many people know about. It's kind of rare to find. I found it in a dollar store. So I've got all of it plus. So I literally have the entire collection of it. And no, as long as that man is still alive, whatever he does, I will be right behind it. If I'd been able to go to New York, I would have seen Young Frankenstein to play. I would have seen there was another one he did besides Young Frankenstein. He actually turned into a Broadway play. And my brain is going blank at the moment, and I'm ashamed. But if I'd had the ability to do that, I would have gone and done that. In fact, I think Young Frankenstein is still running, so that's always still a possibility. And it just, I'm sorry if anybody watching this has any connection to Mel Brooks, tell him I love that man to death, and I will shine his shoes, and I will polish his toes, and I whatever, just to see that man in person. So,
That'd be a really cool interview. Be able to get him on here and just say,
oh,
hey. That
um,
would be fun.
I'd be like,
Uh,
okay, goal achieved. I know
yeah.
where I'm going when I'm done. Got Mel Brooks, boom, done. You can just check me out now. That would be a because I David Lynch was on my bucket list to find a way to meet him, and it didn't happen. I've still got a chance with Mel Brooks. It's long shot, but hey,
there's a chance.
There's a
um,
chance. But he's still, I at least got to meet Bruce Campbell, right? He's awesome.
he's going to be back in your area soon at another
Really?
convention. I noticed. I thought I
Uh,
shared the link on it.
I'd have to, yeah, you need to let me know. I'll find
I
out.
because I've been following all these convention appearances and stuff, and I
Hmm.
saw that he was doing something. I'm like, oh, I really should share that, and I thought I did. So,
Yeah, because like getting to meet him when he was doing the tour for Bubba Hotep was fantastic. So man, I was so much younger back then.
yeah, that's another guy. If he lives to be in his 90s and stuff like that, he's going to be another one that people are just going to go, okay, we got to, if you haven't met him, you got to take the
Yeah.
chance to meet him.
That's one of the things I'll say is like for you guys out there that have never been to a Comic Con or somewhere where you can meet some of your favorite idols and for film, comics, whatever, do it, because it does it does impact you, you know, in life. You know, you get to achieve something because there's guys I'd love to meet that I never will. You know, I'm a big Sting fan. I've been fan since I was a kid, and I'd
Yeah.
love to meet him. But that'll never happen. You know, I don't even think I've been able to see him in concert. I'd love to see it. I don't even think he's doing anything. He's doing music still, but I don't think he's
Yeah,
doing like
it's more
tours.
pure stuff right now.
Yeah.
So like I got to meet Ace Frehley, one of my favorite musicians. I got to meet George Perez, my favorite comic artist, years
Hmm.
ago when we were at that one convention. Uh, I mean, I've met a lot of celebrities and stuff like that through Texas Tapes and Records down in Pasadena. You know, so I've gotten to meet a couple of my favorite people. In fact, one of my favorite bass players of all time is a man named John Regan, who played bass for Peter Frampton. He played for Ace Frehley. He lived about 3 hours, 4 hours from where I am. And just through random contact through Facebook, I actually got to meet and through and have conversations with him and get advice from the guy and stuff like that. And I actually formed a type of friendship because we actually have my cousin married his cousin.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
I was able to remind him because when I met him in Houston years ago, he's like, "Oh, well, I got family here and I got family here." And I'm like, "Well, this is cool. I got family here and here." And then when one day when we were talking, we're like, "Hey, our cousins are married," you know, and stuff like that, and it helped form a thing. And he had such profound advice, and and he died of a heart attack a couple years ago, and he was just such an amazing man. I mean, he had world known renowned credits. Like he played the bass on Mick Jagger, David Bowie, Dancing in the Streets.
Hmm.
He was the bass player on that. Okay, so he had top notch credits to his thing, and the man was just as humble as any one of us. And he was an amazing guy to meet, and I will be forever grateful that I got to meet him. So yeah, if you ever get the opportunity to meet somebody that's on your bucket list, give it a shot.
Yeah.
It will change you. It will give you something. You will get
I was about to
something.
say, although I am told never to meet your heroes, right?
That's
Because
true. That is very true. There
That
were
is
some
very
people
true.
like I
Their
got to
world shattered because it wasn't what they expected.
yeah. I mean, don't put them on a pedestal. Just go up to meet them and say hi. How are you? And if you can get a picture with them without paying $300, Mark Hamill. But you know, it's like I would have loved to have met Kevin Conroy
And I
because
missed out on
the man
that.
was iconic and he was so grateful when he met people.
Oh yeah. I missed out on that. He was willing to do me a voice recording, but I didn't answer my phone because I was in the meeting at my work. And my dad was
Yeah.
like, and like dad could have just did it with his phone and they sent it to me, but no, anyway, we'll
oh,
get
Yeah.
dragging
The
up
thing,
old wounds.
yeah, it
yeah, the thing
hurts,
is,
man. I could have
it
a
does.
Kevin Conroy
If you
going
have the
like
opportunity,
making me a voicemail.
yeah. Like if you're
Um,
across the room from somebody, find a way to bridge that gap.
yeah.
I mean,
I
whatever it
miss
takes.
I missed that opportunity, man, because I had stage fright with the possibility of getting to talk to, and I passed by him and I waved at him and stuff, and he waved at me. It was cool. But Roddy Piper, I just could get the courage to go
Yeah,
talk to
that
him.
would
And
have
then,
been another one.
but like the other thing about that is he left that next like that sun. So he was there Friday and Saturday, and then left Sunday. And I was like, dang it, because I really wanted to go talk to him. I had courage to go talk to him, but he
Yeah,
was gone by that time. It was like sometimes you just gotta get over your fear and just go do it. Go talk to them. They're people
just
too. They're not anything special. You know,
that's
they
right.
mean things, but they're not like they're not gods. You know, they're human just like
They're
we are.
they're trying to earn a paycheck for in the reason for being there in some cases, which is understandable. But at
Hmm.
the same time, don't put them on a pedestal. Just go and just be humble about it. Don't be in their face about it. That was the one thing that I learned with all the people that I've met. Just say, hi, I'm Colin, or hi, whatever your name is. Okay. Can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph? How are you doing? Ask them how they're doing
Yeah.
because people want so much from them that they numb themselves out to it. But if you take the time to say, how are you doing? What have you got going on? and you draw them into the conversation, it will work. It's done. That was one of the things that I learned early on. I learned it with George Perez. That was the first place that I learned it. And I just asked him what he had going on, and we got to talking. And I had a picture of just a sheet of just random artwork I put together, just ideas. He said, "Well, let me see what you got. Let's take a look at it. Let's discuss it." And he gave me so many points and tips that one day. In that 20-25 minute conversation that I had with him while people were waiting, he pulled me aside and said, "Okay, let's talk about this." And he said, "Okay, don't do this, do this." And that man gave me so much knowledge and grace in 20-25 minutes time that I have retained it to this day. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? I got to meet one of my heroes, and it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it to give it a shot. And all I did was just be nice, be kind.
Treat them like people,
If
right?
they're
Because
not,
that's what they are at the end of
yeah,
the day.
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. And they might be having a bad day, and they'll come off as snotty or something like that. But then again, if you have to deal with 1,000 people demanding signatures, and some of these people are going to put them up on eBay and crap like that, you're going to get numbed out to it. But if you actually take the time and just say hi, how are you? Are you okay? If you can give them a bottle of water, like I think Vinny, you did something like that for somebody at one convention.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but yeah, I did.
Right. But, just showing them that, hey, we understand you're going through it too. You have a lot of demands on you, is, just offer yourself up to help, to be a lending ear, to just say, okay, I get it. How are you? What have you got going on?
Yeah,
It
get to know. I mean, that's the thing is like
exactly be
we get
honest.
to watch them as these characters we idolize and stuff, and then you have a moment in time that you can actually speak to them as a human,
Yes.
and like it's like have a conversation, spend the time with them. Don't. I know sometimes it's stage fright. Some people get like their own ego into the equation when they're talking to them, and that's stuff that turns them off. You just be like, "Hey,
Exactly.
how you doing?" Blah blah blah. But that's any conversation, and
That's exactly right. You know, there is nobody in this world who is truly better than you. They might be better at some things you do, but we're all human and we all have our
mhm.
faults. We all have our things we excel at. And that's the only piece of advice that I can personally offer up in a conversation like this. And if I ever met Mel Brooks, I'd probably melt for a minute, but then I would try and regain my composure and go, hey, how are you? you know, because the man's lost a lot. He's lived a long time and he's lost a lot of friends. He's had a lot going on. And yeah, he's still, I mean, it could be a thing where he's just putting on for the camera. He could be truly joyful and glad that he's still around, offering up things. But if I actually had the chance, I would say, "How are you? What have you got going on?" You know, and I would let him know, "Hey, a lot of people come to me randomly with their problems. It's there are some people out in this world who are like that. I happen to be one of them. So if he decided to unload, I would keep it, because of clergy status for one thing. I would keep it very personal. I would say, okay, doesn't go any further than this. I would let them dump. And you know what that does? It makes it personal. It makes it so that they feel like they're not just a piece of bait, which is basically what it comes down to. And yeah, I gush over Mel Brooks, but at the same time, I would not let the man feel like he's just a piece of meat hanging out there going, "Woo,"
Yeah. David, you got any people that you would love to meet or anything like that? Or are you just content with
I don't know, man. I kind of take to heart that whole idea of never meet your heroes just because it's like I'm sure that there's like you hear talk about people who are out there that are really cool, right? Like everyone always talks about guys like Keanu Reeves that are just really down to earth and awesome people. And I know a lot of the people that do like con circuits, especially when you're talking about like the lower, quote unquote lower tier celebrities, right? Like your Bruce Campbells, right? The guys that the guys and gals that know where their bread got buttered was from the fans and all that stuff. It's like, oh, that sounds really cool, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm okay. It's like I will enjoy the characters they have created, the movies that they make. I will enjoy hearing other people's stories about getting to meet them and all that. I just don't really have a burning desire to go out there and like I gotta shake your hand, dude, and tell you about blah blah blah. It's like there's a part of me, and maybe it's just like the awkwardness in me. I just for me, I would imagine myself as being very cringe in that moment, and so I kind of
Just
just
try not
go.
to
Oh, that's fair.
remove
So I'm
yourself from
like,
the equation so that doesn't happen,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's
now,
Yeah.
like,
like,
and plus, it's like, hey, if you know, there's other people who have, like what you guys are talking about, have way deeper connection to these actors, to these people. They've done way more for them, right, in their lives and all these things. So like, if I'm one person that doesn't need to be there, then that's one more chance for someone else that
I get that.
really has a need to go meet this person to go do it. So it's like, on the one hand, I can tell myself to go to sleep at night that I'm doing all of y'all a service, but at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I just it feels weird to me to think of it in those terms. But for everyone else that gets something out of it, that's awesome. I'm glad that these people are able to speak into your lives in such awesome and moving ways. I enjoy the stories and all that, and I'll stick with the stories, and I'll let the people be people, and I'll let all the rest of y'all have the rest of that fun. So
cool.
Yeah. Let me see. So I guess the last topic we were going to talk about, so just board games and things are going on, like the stuff
Board
we've been.
games and tabletop, you said.
Yeah.
I haven't been really keeping up on the tabletop stuff. Board games, I keep seeing, honestly, outside of what we share in the chat, I don't really see anything except new versions of old crap. There's another version of Monopoly. There's another version of Clue. This one talks. This one's got this box that gives you verbal hints. This one over here, this one, oh, look, we got Monopoly that's Syracuse University related. Oh, come on, man. I really need to get back into. There's a couple of gaming stores down in Syracuse that really should go try and visit at least once in a while so I can be more up on it because I get most of my knowledge from you guys.
Yeah.
And for me at this point, tabletop games is card games because
So
that's
does your
kind of what it's become for me.
does your son play with you at all any of that stuff or no?
They want to, and we really have been trying to set up like what David's got going on with the game night and stuff.
Hmm.
But our lives are such a mess. We've tried. It just once we get settled with our situation and in a new place and everything like that, and we can breathe again, maybe that'll come up because Travis is really into D&D. And he asked me tons of question about it. I have everything from Gamma World. I would absolutely love to do that with my kids, or at least get something going.
I mean, in fairness, right? So like whenever you're younger, the fun of D and like the gameplay loop of D&D is the actual game of D&D. And then as you get older and get more responsibilities and more life things happen to you, then there's a new like what people don't understand is that there's a meta game within D&D that no one really knows about until you become too grown. And that meta game is trying to, you know, organize and make time and get people to the table to play D&D.
Right.
Right now that's a new like little side game that you didn't realize existed. And then when you realize that it exists, it sucks. Right? It's like the heart like I would rather take level 1 characters and go up against full-grown elder dragons in a game of D&D than have to go through the process of trying to get people to the table
To
to play,
play.
to play something
Yes.
because it's just like, okay, guys, we're good. We got it. We got okay. We're session 0. It's gonna be on such and such a day. It's such and such a time. It's like, oh, well, this person's sick and this thing came up and this person's kid is going on. This, that, and
Yeah.
the other. It's always something happens, doesn't get done. It's like, okay. That's why, man, for a long time. That's kind of why I went to board games because instead of trying and set up this like big long like
Story
multi-session
campaign.
thing,
Yeah.
right? It was like, okay, I'll get something that, if we can actually get at least a couple people together, throw it on the table. open up the cards, the miniatures, whatever it involves, sit down for a couple hours, knock it out, call it good, move on.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. My main gaming cohort is going off to college though, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna change things because like if I can't get anyone else to play, usually I can get my son to play something and we'll sit down and do that. But with him going off, it's like that first big lifestyle change is coming, right? We'll see how
Yeah.
that plays out. But yeah, man. I mean, in terms of just like board game news, I think the biggest thing that I was posting about it's still kind of difficult for me to wrap my mind around was the fact that cool minis are not sold off Zombicide, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
like that kind of made that company, and now I get it's with a company that was already kind of distributing it, which seemed kind of crazy to me. But they sold it, but they still retain rights to Marvel Zombies and Deceased, which they Marvel Zombies they kind of did everything as far as I'm aware. So I don't know where like what they're getting out of that. Deceased I kind of get because they haven't delivered it yet. But like, yeah, man, that kind of blew me away, and it sucks to see the big companies like that struggle. And then like one of the games that I really like playing, Sentinels of the Multiverse, uh, the people that did that, Greater Than Games, they're struggling to get their stuff together. There's a expansion for that laying out there in a limbo right now. It's like it sucks, man. And that's where we talked about it before when the tariff stuff was at its height, but it's like you know there's so many board games out there that there it really is to the point where if you can think of something you want to play, there's probably a game out there for it, or if there's not, there's probably a Kickstarter for it. But then the worry is the Kickstarter going to get delivered these days, right? And because we kind of got spoiled on Kickstarters for a little while there, where, man, it just seemed like people were just printing money and pumping out games, and there was a million things being shipped, and it was awesome. And then it all came to it. Like every once in a while, there'd be like one company, like Mythic, I think was the name of it, who crashed and burned. But
Yeah.
man, it just felt like we had such a huge well of games to pull from everywhere, and then it just feels like right now we're going into a desert, some difficult times. But
The dark times before the Empire.
Right.
This the sad thing is that man, like the problem with board games is that eventually you get to the point where you just don't have space for it all of it. Like
yes,
over 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 here, like this whole black shelf behind me is filled with board games and maybe some comics and things, but other than that, it's more mainly board games. The rest of my board games that don't fit over here are in my son's closet because at the moment I don't have space in my closet to put them in there. And it's like, are they just going to collect dust? I mean, eventually you'd love to be able to start playing with these games with him, and we will. It's just
Yeah.
it's a matter of prioritizing the time. But I remember like playing D&D and all that stuff all the time, every weekend with Dad and Colin and all the other guys that we played with. And I do miss that. I miss it a lot. I
The bonding time.
being able to like tell this awesome story with your group of friends and taking on, any type of enemy that you're facing, depending on what it is within whatever universe was so awesome. But I mean, that's what's great about like having that story in a box, where you got the miniatures, you got a map, and you got a campaign that you could run for the tabletop side, with board games, having like the Zombicide or the Resident Evil games, they have a scenario that you're playing or
Right. Even Cards Against Humanity.
hmm
You know, and there, I know there's a. I can't. I'm so bad with these new games, but there's what is it? Exploding Cats,
exploding kittens.
Exploding Kittens.
yeah,
You
that's
Oh,
say
fun.
that one.
new, man. That
That's
game's
been
been
a
out for a
while.
minute now.
I know, but the thing is, I still would like to get a set. Like I have a set of Cards Against Humanity, but they're all the black cards. There's no white cards in it. So I'm like, what? It's supposed to be a
How did
start
you
pack.
manage that?
I man, welcome to my world. That's how I can explain that. So I'm like looking at this deck, and we've held on to it forever. Going, one of these days we're just going to come across the cards we need to get this thing going. Because I love Cards Against Humanity. I play it online. I watch videos on YouTube on it. Exploding Kittens looks really cool, and then there's a couple of other ones by the same people that have decks out and sets out that I go to Walmart and I check out what's there. For me, that's where the passion seems to want to go now. The card game sets, like rounding back around, you guys getting the Final Fantasy stuff.
Hmm.
For some reason, that seems to be the way that my brain and my heart wants to go. It's like, okay, here's an example. A few years back, there was a Transformers game through the Play Store. It was a card-based game. Okay. And it was basically a Transformer game. If you have this card, or let's say you had, Hot Rod, and you had additional weapons or whatever, you would basically battle up against the other one, and it would just be a straight card battle, but it would go through all the rounds and everything. And I played that thing for like 2.5 years, and I loved it. And
This one it?
I don't know. It was straight online. There was no physical cards.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because this one was cool. This is the one that came out like maybe
I wonder, I wonder if that's a version.
4 or 5 years ago that Wizard did, WotC. But you had like
Is that WotC or is that Renegade?
no, it was WotC. So you had like Starscream from the
Yeah, see, it had cards like that. It was like a virtual
doesn't
version.
show you haven't played these in a while, but
Yes,
dust on the
and
top.
this virtual version of it, I loved this game, and I played it, and I had a lot of time invested in it. I had some great cards, and if you could get so many cards, and you could get so many more lives, and I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed that game, and then one day they pulled the plug on it and it was done. And I was like sad. I was like, and I think that's what started off my true love of games. I mean, like I said, I played Magic once, and it was okay, but it was such, you know, the guy Howard, a friend of mine, he's since passed away. He was like, "Oh, I got to get you into Magic," and I'm like, "Okay." And then we had the one game, and I disastrously whooped everybody. And he's like, "No, okay, we're not gonna do this anymore."
No, you
So
can't play anymore.
yeah, it's like beginner's luck absolutely trumped everything. And
Yeah.
but no, that's why I pay a little more attention when you guys talk about the card game stuff, because that is where my heart is. And if I didn't focus so much on having music stuff, I'd probably have some massive decks of all these different card games and everything. I'd
We
probably
all
have,
we all have our own separate
We only
vices,
have
right?
vices.
yeah. I
Some
mean,
of us just
honestly,
tap into all of it and
right.
stupidly.
So I play vicariously, and I live vicariously by watching you guys go on about it.
Yeah.
And I do pay attention to it, because if I had different proclivities in life, I probably would be, because I obsess over having, oh, let's have this deck, let's have this deck, let's do this, let's do this. You know, I would turn my love and passion of music and music gear into a card thing, and I'd probably have some very serious decks, because that's where my head is at.
Yeah. I mean, it's some of the stuff, wasn't as expensive as it is now.
Right.
Um, and then because it's being sought after, we deal with a lot of the scalpers and stuff, so the product is scarce. And on top of that, it increases the value of trying to collect any of this stuff. Like so, going back to Final Fantasy, right? We went I that Friday it released, so last Friday,
Yeah.
or well, it would have been 2 Fridays away from when this episode goes up.
Okay.
Um, I went and picked up, the bundle box and then like 6 booster packs. I had already pre-ordered a bunch of other stuff, but like this was stuff I just wanted to try to see if I could get in the wild. So I left work at 11 to go to hit my GameStop that's really close to my job. And as I'm pulling up, there's no parking spots and there's a line. So I had to go around the corner park, then come up, and they were already gone inside. But none of them were buying Final Fantasy stuff. They were all buying the Pokemon ETB or whatever when that was coming out. Not the $300. It was some kind of like set or whatever that was coming out. And luckily, like I go, hey, so do you guys get the Final Fantasy stuff in? He goes, yeah, hold on, let me go grab it. So they came out with the stuff. I was like, all right, I want this and this. And then after work, I figured they would probably be gone, but I stopped anyway. And the only thing they had left was the commander decks, and then I think the something else. One of the oh, it was the single pack collector booster.
Okay,
So
yeah.
for $50 you get a pack of Magic cards. So then I ended up going to the one over by my house, and they had like a stack. Well, no, sorry, I take that back. They had four boosters, so I went ahead and bought those four, and I was like, that's what I went home with. But when I went over there to the GameStop earlier that day, it's like they had a stack of them. Like, man, I could have probably used the rest of my credit that I had and
They
got
never
all those
credit.
and but I just I only grabbed two in the bundle because I mean it that's the thing is like I know the prices are which goes into this too with the board games is they can be pricey to get into them.
Well, that's where like one of the guys I was talking to, we're sitting around and me and one of the other guys clearly are a little bit more of the uh in-depth ones. Like other people are showing up with like Catan, right? It's like not that Catan's a bad game, it's just like Catan's one that you can find at Walmart for like, you know, 20, $30. It's not
Hmm.
that expensive. And so we're standing around and we're talking about like the Marvel Zombicide game, right? And one of the guys was asking me about it. I was like, well, there's the version I brought, which is like a $20 one that only the heroes and the villains have miniatures and everything else are little cardboard cutout dudes. And he's like, oh, so there's one that has like miniatures for all the zombies and everything, like all the like regular zombies and everything. I was like, yeah, yeah. He goes, oh, well, how much is that? I was like, your primary boxes for that are about, that's gonna run you easily $100. And then for any like secondary expansions, like if you want to go get Fantastic Four or something like that, that's gonna be $50 just out the gate, right? Because I mean that's the both unfortunate and the cool side of it is, man, board games are so detailed and intricate and they have so many parts and pieces and things in them and like the
Complicated
quality,
rules.
yeah, but I mean but like the quality of the components and everything that are in them are really really good. There, I mean, it's you can get some really cool stuff in these boxes. It's just it's gonna cost you three digits to just get in the door on it, right? I mean, and then if you go and you do these Kickstarters, it's like, man, you got to put stuff on payment plans for 6 months to pay this stuff off. You're buying a game console basically to get some of these board games and the expansions that come with them. And I mean, if that's your thing, hey man, like I said, we've been living high on the hog for a while now. There's been so many games like you've had like stuff like Gloomhaven coming out, right? Like that game is massive. There is all kinds of crap in that game that people will take a long time to play through, and it's a ton of fun. It's just, dude, that the box is like $150. And some people just don't have that to throw away on a board game. The people that do, it's an awesome investment. There's a if you can get people to sit down and play it, and that's really cool. It's just yeah, it's man, all these hobbies have become so detailed, so intricate. It's not just like a little pamphlet with some generic rules and everyone's imagination with some pieces of paper anymore, right? It's no, there's
Concrete.
500-600 page tomes filled with art and all these deeply thought through and play tested rules. There's like 8 bajillion editors and writers and all this stuff. And suddenly it's like a thing that back in the day was like, oh, hey, it's like, I'll pick this up for, like 10, $15 and it's a book and we'll be able to sit down and read the rules and go knock it out, man. Now, like, that'll get you like a character sheet for something, right? It's crazy, but
Yeah.
yeah, if but that's where that plays even more into the importance of like let's play channels and reviews and really doing your research on these games because man, there's been some board games that have been out there that like looking at them, and listening to the descriptions of like how they play and what they're supposed to do. I'm like, that sounds awesome. And then I'll go and I'll watch a video of someone playing it, and I'm like, that's less awesome. What's going on? And then people will sit there and talk about how like, hey, here's how these rules interact. This is where this is kind of weird. This is where this doesn't really like flow right, or hey, here's ways to house rule it to make it work because like I had gotten a deck builder game back whenever I didn't know what deck builders were called Dominion, and that game bored it. Man, that was the most boring game, but it was the most highest rated deck builder you could find. Period. Like it was the granddaddy of them all. Everybody loves that game. I hated it. I could not stand it. And I was able to go and do a little bit more like actual researching into stuff and found a deck building game that I liked called Ascension. And man, me and friends played the ever loving bejesus out of that game. And that just kind of taught me that, man, if you're getting into these spaces, if you're getting into these hobbies, like don't just pull the trigger on something because it looks cool. Like do the research, like look up videos, listen to people talk about it, engage with it, try and like see if it actually is something that you're going to enjoy
Want to
or
invest
even be
time
able to
into, yeah,
yeah,
or afford.
or even be able to play. Because like I said, and Frosthaven are awesome, but that is a commitment to get into those games. And so it's like you got to understand like where you're at, right? Hey, can I get into something that is going to take me and a bunch of buddies a year and a half to play through, or am I geared more towards something like a quick little like what is it called? Like Pocket Paragons, where it's like a quick little like 15-minute card battler where we're just gonna like
Quick
pick a couple
campaign.
characters, knock some stuff out, have some fun with it, pack it back up, and like move on our way, right? Just know know where you're at in life, know the kind of area that you're surrounded by, the kind of people that you engage with. Maybe use it as an opportunity to go and engage with new sets of people, right? Like playing Magic, I've been back in it for a little over a year now. The group that I play with is shaky and getting shakier because the guy who kind of formed it is going to be moving away here soon. So I don't know how much we're going to continue meeting. So now I'm like, okay, I guess I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm going to go to a local game store and
Or
try out a casual commander night, and I'm going to find out how sweaty and try hard
They
the
win it.
the
Yeah.
rough wilds out there are because man, all I want to do is play my cool Timmy deck. I'm not trying to battle cruise my way through it. I'm not trying to not interact with the table, but I don't want to run into like 12 different counter spells and 8 different board wipes and every single time I'm just trying guys, can I just play my command? I don't want to do anything else. I just want to play my commander. I just want to move them from over here to over
it's
here and
over
that's
there.
it. And they're like, "Nope, counter spell. Counter spell. No, get that like just get away from the table. Get the hell out of here, right?" And then someone just be like, "Oh, hey, it's turn 3 and I've got an infinite on the board that no one can do anything about. Win the game." Like,
Well, that's why we originally started the whole Project Game Night with the Facebook group that we had was that we would pick a night some Saturday where everybody would go over to somebody's house and we would just either video game it, we would watch movies, or we'd play board games. I'd love to bring that back. My house is too small to be the house to host it. Depending on who comes over.
yeah.
I can get maybe 20, 10, 15 people in here, but I'd rather host it somewhere else or have somebody else host it.
Right.
But I mean, David, if we could find a way to play virtually online, or at least online with cameras.
Yeah, I was about to say all you technically need are cameras, right? At the end
Right?
of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, you
Although I
need
would
two
think I would
cameras.
need think I would need some kind of oh yeah, to be able to like
Yeah,
see the
face and
people.
then the board. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the
So
Yeah, there
cards.
you go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that setup would look. We'd have to do some figuring on that. But
Stick
Yeah.
the camera on a gooseneck. That's what most people do.
Well, I got that new tripod you
Yeah.
know, camera stand. So
yeah, but how do you do that through Zoom though? Is what I'm at like or through this, right? Because it would technically be two separate feeds of the same
oh yeah,
person.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I think you probably could.
I mean, I've seen people.
or
I've
if you
seen
have
it
a
done.
multicam software app that connects to it.
Correct. Yeah. Could be.
Okay.
And then we can
I have
record it and
several
upload it, but
multicam apps. It's just a matter of getting them to connect to, say, an OBS or a Zoom type of thing.
hmm
Yeah. See if I can get around to playing the Knights of the Round at you or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still want to pull that card. I'm with that Buster Sword, you know, the impossible dreams of things. I mean, I have a chance. I mean, between the
It's always a chance.
between the two play boxes that I'll be opening at some point, and I mean the bundle. I mean, hell, I don't even know if it's in the pre-release kit.
What the the
Buster
Buster Sword?
Sword, yeah.
I mean, pre-release is booster packs, right? So if it's a booster pack, there's a chance.
There's a chance, yeah. I'm hoping I get that Vivi though. The what is it, the borderless one? I think that's in the pre-release,
Oh,
but we'll see. I can have at least two of the what, three or four VVs that there is.
there's no well, dude. There's only like you've got two copies of it. All you'd be getting is like an alternate art of VV.
I have to look. Isn't there another? I didn't know if they did the well, I'm not gonna be able to get the Surge, but I thought there was the portrait art ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, but it's still it's functionally still the same
Yeah, it's
Eevee.
still a functioning same card.
It's like how I have. Let me pull it up. So I have like the Una Hope of Spira, right? Like I have
Yes,
the regular one,
and I have,
but I also pulled the alternate
which I
art
did.
of her like
Yeah,
that, right? So it's like, okay, is that what you're talking about? That version of Eevee?
yeah.
The
If they did one, I'm not sure if they did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, so there's a borderless one, or the extended art. There is a borderless. Wow, the borderless one goes for
It's stupid.
$250 on TCG.
Yep.
That is insane, man.
Dude, it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so what we're telling you guys is that board games, card collecting games, or RPGs, sometimes there's a hefty cost that goes into to collecting these things, but or to acquire to be able to play, but then you got to collect your friends or people to play with you. So that's
Right.
another thing, you know. You may pull the wrong card and you have the drunk player that's there. Or the player that's only there to pick up chicks, but then you realize that he realizes that there's only guys at the table playing or at the venue.
Comes up to that rude awakening.
Yeah. Okay, so there is one of the ones that has the portrait, but I have no clue what the price is. It's pretty cool looking.
Well, happy hunting, sir.
Yeah, happy hunting.
Yeah. Like I said, right now yeah, right now I'm all singles here on out. And most of the singles I want are relatively cheap. The biggest cost ones that I still want are Bahamut, Traveling Chocobo, and Buster Sword. Like those three by themselves are like what I just described is like 150 bucks. Not paying that right now.
I mean, Bahamut's
But
not that expensive. I mean, what was it? Oh, well, I take that back. He's 26 bucks. I take that back.
yeah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
dude.
Take
Yeah.
that back. He was one of the ones that I forgot that he's one of the higher cards that not the highest, but one of the higher cards I ended up getting in that box. Oh man.
Wait, you got Bahamut?
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, I didn't think you got Bahamut. Or is it the one you opened today?
No, it's the one I opened up Sunday or Monday. Give me a second, I'll pull him.
Okay. I guess man, is my reading comprehension really going that far into the toilet? What the heck is going on?
I know mine is.
Yeah, see the thing that you oh yeah, summon Bahamut. I see it right there. Yeah. Oh, you son of a bitch. Because that would slot very nicely into my dragon deck, but
I have to say though, I think the coolest one I got though, where are you at? I don't want to show off too many of these because well, it doesn't really matter because by the time this episode goes out,
Yeah, you're supposed to
I've
be
already,
uploading it. Yeah.
yeah. What's this one? I love that one.
Oh yeah, Niflheim Flame or Nibelheim. Yeah, I've got. What's funny is I have that one as well. Uh,
That's a $15 card.
I'm about to put it in this cloud deck. Yep, exact same one.
Hmm.
And then I don't know if this is gonna go in cloud or not. I'm debating, but like I got a different art for the fire crystal.
Oh, nice. I haven't got a fire crystal yet. I got the earth, water, dark crystal, or darkness crystal, I think is what they call it.
Yeah.
I got I got wind,
Nice. Okay.
fire. I haven't gotten earth. I think I have the dark crystal. I don't think I have earth or water. I know I don't have water because I told a buddy that if I got the water one, I'd probably give it to him because he's a filthy mill player. Again, for anyone who's watching this that knows Magic, filthy like blue, just all blue players are the devil. And whether you're counter players, whether you're mill players, you are just the only people that I almost put in the same level of scum as you are sliver players, but that's different. But yes, blue players. Again, I am at my heart a Timmy. All I want to do is put big stompy. Oh yeah, I got yeah
It's a
yeah.
good card.
That's
I
it's
like the art on it.
it's what Atraxa Grand Unifier if I remember right. Um, But yeah, I like that, right? All I want to do is put big stompies on the board. I just want to put big creatures and swing big creatures at faces and do all that stuff. And all you stupid control players want to do is put my stuff back into my hand and
I
make
want
me
to
put all
bust
my
that with a
stuff in the
limit break.
graveyard.
Let's
Yeah.
go flip
Hmm?
the table, folks.
Hates. But
Well, so to wrap up this episode, Spaceballs 2 looks potentially awesome. We need to see actual footage of the film, a trailer or something. But
I'm gonna say by Christmas we'll have something because they start production in July or August.
mhm.
So I'm thinking we'll get a teaser trailer by Christmas, which would be beautiful.
Yeah, Dave, what you got to say anything out to as we're sending out everyone out into the to the to the night cold? No, no.
do not go into generational debt over cardboard and plastic. It is not worth it, no matter
Correct.
how much you think it is. Blue players in Magic suck, and I hate you all. Um, like not because not like as a person, but like on a deeper level, if that's possible. Um,
The
yeah,
fundamentals of it, right? It's the
yeah.
yeah.
It's not. I don't hate the fact that you're a person. I hate the fact that you exist and you're a blue player. That's it. That's all.
Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering is pretty awesome. If you want to get into it, I always say start with the starter deck, or if you have a little bit more income or a disposable income is what I should say, pick up the commander decks. You know,
Well, and like, don't get all of them, right? Like, honestly, if you're gonna go for one of the commander decks, unfortunately, a lot of the like the best ones are really expensive. But like out of the box, pretty consistently, all of what I understand is that the Cloud and the Titus ones are like if you haven't been in Magic in a while, those play the best out of the box, right? Like the other two. The Ishtola Catgirl one is supposed to be pretty good, but needs some upgrades to really run well.
hmm
The Final Fantasy VI Terra one technically runs better with Celeste, but even that one needs a lot more upgrades to really make it run well. So if you just want to go buy one thing that you can go sit down at a store maybe and be able to somewhat compete and at least have some fun times, then definitely either Limit Break or Counter Blitz are the way to
yeah.
go. So
And if you can go to retail, you'll get them at a cheaper price than what they're
yes,
going for on the secondary market. As far
yes.
as I know, I've been seeing like GameStop still had the commander decks, Best Buy still had the commander decks, but you need to go physically in the store. Do not go online.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can
Oh
find them
man.
in the stores, go for it.
But yeah, no, so yeah, this has been fun with the just going through it, but all right, everyone, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know if you've been picking up the Final Fantasy stuff. Have you what you've been pulling? That'd be nice to read. And are you excited for Spaceballs 2?
Also, let's talk about our favorite Mel Brooks movies.
Oh yeah, there you go. We
Some
can
love.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The man is still out there. His work is still valid, and let's make him trend again. The man deserves it.
Yeah, let's build that hype train. Hashtag Spaceballs 2, hashtag Mel Brooks is awesome. And yeah. But anyway, we'll check you later, guys. Peace out.